and welcome to another short puppet review. I'm Avery, and I'm Lashing Eye Lucy, and welcome to Scare-You-Airy. In the month of January, we are going to review scary movies. Well, not all of them are going to be scary, but we noticed that there's a lineup for a lot of scary movies for some reason this month, even though January's usually a dead zone for movies. So anytime we review a scary movie in January, Lucy's going to be here with me, and anytime it's a not scary movie, it will just be me, because I don't really like scary movies that much, and Lucy loves them, so she can give insight as like a horror-loving person, and I can give insight as a bat that doesn't like that stuff. I thought bats were hardwired to be scary. No, that's vampire bats. I'm a fruit bat. Entirely different species. Weird. So today we're talking about the 2020 remake of The Grudge, which is, you said it was a Japanese horror film originally? Yes, it was originally a Japanese horror movie, and then it was turned into an Americanized version in like the early 2000s, and now this is kind of a remake of all of that. Cool. Were the first ones scary? Oh yeah, they were pretty creepy. The definite scariest was the original Japanese version, and then the American one in the 2000s, it was okay. It had its moments, but then it got kind of ruined with sequels. So now we have this, which felt a bit like Jigsaw, but Jigsaw was still kind of better because at least Jigsaw was interesting in a bad way. Yeah. I was kind of really scared to go into this movie because the trailers freaked me out, but there wasn't a lot that happened. It was kind of bland and dull, and it took a long time for things to pick up. I think it was kind of supposed to be going for like this unease and tension throughout the movie, but instead it just kind of came off as nothing, a whole lot of nothing. We have all these different characters, and they're all kind of experiencing this odd curse that came over from Japan and all of these different time periods. And it's all set in the early 2000s, even though this is supposed to be, I don't know, like a new thinking of it, reimagining. Hardly. It just kind of felt like they were going through the same motions again, just with CG stuff. Because we can do CG blood now. Whoa! But yeah, I got that feeling too. The characters weren't really that interesting. We were following several different families and how this curse led up to their deaths. And the original curse with the Japanese girl, that's completely gone. It's now reimagined with this one family, this one American family, whose mom brings the curse back from Japan, which I don't know why the Japanese girl then didn't latch on like she did in the movies in the past. But for some reason it transferred to this little girl in, I think it was Pennsylvania. I don't even remember what part of the United States this was supposed to be, and that's how forgettable it was. But yeah, now the curse is with that family, and the only couple I really remember is this old couple, which were kind of sweet because the wife was kind of losing her mind, and the husband said that he knew the house was haunted and he didn't mind, because he was hoping then that he and his wife could like die in the house and then live in the afterlife together. And that was kind of interesting to see someone else's point of view instead of, this house is dangerous, we gotta get out. Although really, why were they in there? Why were they in there? Yeah, and I mean, all these stories are kind of tied together with this new cop that comes into town. She's got a son, her husband recently passed away. It's the whole, oh, we're starting a new life, and it's the new female cop on job, and they're all kind of dressed like hobos, which are detectives supposed to be dressed in sweatshirts and stuff for the police force? I don't think so, but I'm not sure. Can someone look into that? Because that part of the movie was weird. But yeah, we're watching all these different stories kind of unravel, and they're all kind of playing next to each other in this flashback, flash forward kind of thing, with the cop getting the curse latched onto her as kind of the story that connects all the other stories together as she's trying to solve this mystery of what happened to all these people. But it just kept going, and it kind of dragged on, and the characters were okay, but they weren't really that interesting. So when it came down to like the last third, when all of the scary stuff was kind of starting to happen, it wasn't really that scary. I don't know. It just didn't feel like there was much tension buildup, and I kind of started dozing off halfway through. So by the time the scary stuff started happening, I actually had to kind of wake myself up again. Yeah, and the scares, they had a couple of good ideas, but honestly, the sound kind of ruined most of them. So there were some really cool visuals, like when some of the characters are walking around the house and you just see out of the corner of your eye that the ghost is kind of sneaking around in the background. Or they turn on the light and the ghost isn't there, and then they turn it off and the ghost is suddenly there, and then they turn it on and the ghost is gone again. They had all like these cool visual elements, but then they all got ruined because anytime a ghost appeared or something scary happened, there would be, that loud zinger, that jump scare effect, like they had that for almost everything. And it wasn't always like this loud in your face noise, but there was always some kind of noise to give off that something creepy was going to happen. And I think it would have just been a lot creepier if they had no sound whatsoever. There was one scene where the cop lady was like walking around and all you can hear is her breathing as she's kind of searching for something. That was pretty cool. And I was waiting for it. I was waiting to have kind of like this sudden surprise moment and the silence. But no, they put in the sound effect, so it kind of completely ruined the moment there. So it did have some good ideas, but overall, it was just kind of bland. Yep, I honestly, I could have summed that up better myself. I really thought I'd be scared. I actually, around this time last year, I watched Escape Room, and I think I actually liked Escape Room better, because even though Escape Room was really bad, it was so out there and so crazy that you enjoyed the badness. Here, there's not really much to enjoy. It's just kind of things happening and people talking and the feeling of you're watching like a cop show or something on TV, except there's a curse, a very poor curse. Why did they Americanize the curse? Seriously, okay, so in the older ones, yeah, even when they Americanized it, they still had it as the Japanese curse. The girl from the Japanese curse went over to America, and it was still her. And this is just 100% Americanized, and I feel like that ruins the lore of the Grudge as a whole, because it's such a Japanese cultural thing, and they kind of had a shot of Japan at the beginning, but really, that was it. The rest was all America, and it felt out of place for this. Yeah, when I think of American ghost stories, this one didn't really seem to fit the mold. It might have been better if they had just something that felt completely American, or maybe if they went all Japanese like Lucy mentioned. Yes, they should have gone all Japanese. It should have been in Japan the whole time. They blew it. They blew it. So don't watch this Grudge if you're wanting to get into the Grudge. I'd suggest to watch the original Japanese one, and then if you really want to watch an American version, to watch the older American version. Because those two are probably the best Grudges that there are. The original and then the original American version. But not the sequels! Don't watch the sequels! The sequels are not as good. Yeah, okay. Well, wow, thank you, Lucy. I honestly couldn't think of anything else to say, so you said a lot of things that I would never even think about saying. And I don't know what else to say about this thing. That's okay, the movie didn't know what to say either. So, if you like this review, make sure to put a pause up and press that like button. And don't forget to subscribe as well, because we will be covering more scary movies for Scare-You-Ary. That's right, although next week I'm not going to be doing a scary movie. Boo! Well, I checked the trailers for the new scary movies that are supposed to come out, and they come out like close to the end of January. Ugh, are you serious? But like we said, anytime there will be a scary movie review in January, Lucy's going to be here with me to help me review it. And next week, I think I'll probably do something not scary. I just need to balance it out. Really? After watching absolutely nothing, what are you going to do now? I think I'm going to take a nap. That sounds good. Want to go back to the movie theater again? Yeah, those sheets were comfy.